Hey, welcome back to Pixel Streets and Poly Dreams, the podcast where science meets the streets of virtual worlds. I'm your host, Carmine Conti, the guy who runs Vice City and knows his way around a digital empire. Today we've got a heavy hitter in the studio, my man from the West Coast, the Grove Street legend himself, Nick Belly. What's up, NB?
What's good, Carmine? Happy to be here, man. Always down to talk about games that made history.
And today we're going deep into Grand Theft Auto 3, the game that changed everything. The science behind its development, the tech leap, the mechanics, and how it all came together. You ready?
Let's get into it.
So MB, let's kick it off. GTA 3 took a major leap from 2D top-down to full 3D open world. That's not just game design, that's technical evolution.
The transition of GTA from 2D to 3D presented unique challenges, particularly in translation between dimensions. Key technical obstacles included self-collisions and the difficulties of adapting platform gameplay to 3 dimensions, which led some developers to blend 3D visuals with 2D side-scrolling mechanics. The most significant hurdles involved the AI, camera, and animation systems. GTA 3 was built using renderware, a heavily modified engine originally based on the Offset engine, though some sources mention it was developed on a modified version of the Unreal Engine. This 3D engine enabled the creation of a much larger world, laying the foundation for modding in the series. To render an entire city in real time on limited hardware, developers employed techniques like aggressive level of detail, occlusion culling, and dynamic asset loading. These optimizations, along with low-resolution textures and efficient use of the renderware engine, allowed the game to run smoothly on the PlayStation 2. GTA 3 introduced major AI innovations, with the improved AI allowing NPCs to react to the player's actions and produce more realistic actions. Enhancements also expanded the dialogue options and enabled companion interactions. The main improvements in the richness of the world stem from NPC AI advancements. The development relied heavily on the C++ programming language for core systems and utilized Criterion Games' renderware engine for rendering and world-building capabilities.
Liberty City ain't just a map, it's a living, breathing place.
Liberty City in GTA 3 was inspired by a combination of real-world cities and game design innovations. Its layout reflects elements from Grand Theft Auto 3 and its successors, while its architectural styles, cultures, and landmarks draw from real-life American cities like New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. Notably, New York City served as a key influence, providing a dense urban environment with skyscrapers and bridges. The city design also incorporated a scientific idea by phrenologist Orson Squire Fowler, who advocated octagonal structures for optimal light, a feature adapted into the GTA 3 version of Liberty City. Urban planning in the game was simulated using detailed models at various fidelity levels, allowing developers to test spatial configurations through simulation results. These simulation models helped approximate real-world urban dynamics, with the 3 in-game cities modeled after real cities in landscape and style. Additionally, the environment can also be modeled to explore future city designs.
Yeah, GTA 3 featured a dynamic day-night cycle and weather system operating in real time, creating a dynamic environment with seasonal changes and weather effects like rain and snow. This system functions similar to a social simulation game, enhancing immersion.
The developers balanced realism and gameplay by ensuring some realism makes the game more fun, conceding certain realistic aspects to prioritize playability. The game keeps the balance between realism and gameplay, varying realism levels to maintain an accurate simulation without compromising fun. To optimize performance, the team used a streaming system to load assets dynamically as players moved, alongside texture compression methods like DXT1 and DXT5, reducing memory usage and improving loading times.
Let's talk audio. Radio stations, ambient city noise, voice acting. GTA 3 didn't just look different, it sounded alive.
The dynamic radio system in GTA 3 was created by music director Craig Connor, who assembled licensed music, humorous advertisements, DJ dialogue, and station imaging, allowing players to switch between in-game radio stations for an evolving soundscape. Voice acting was integrated by casting Hollywood talent, with recorded dialogue synced to cutscenes and character interactions to enhance immersion. Environmental sounds were carefully blended with music, linking to fictional sound sources and played via 8-track tapes synchronized using inaudible high-pitched tones. The game used proprietary compressed audio formats on PS2 and PC, with significant compression due to hardware limitations. Sound memory constraints, such as limited RAM and disk space, were overcome by keeping sound short and managing computationally demanding timer interrupts for background music.
You and I both know it ain't just about stealing cars. It's the missions, the chaos, the freedom.
In Grand Theft Auto 3, developers scripted mission logic and branching outcomes using a proprietary imperative language called GTA 3 script, which compiled into the main.chea 3 script. This system enabled conditional logic for mission events, objectives, and narrative progression in response to player actions. Player progression was tied to completing story missions, which unlocked new areas: Portland, Staunton Island, Shoreside Vale, safe houses, and further objectives. The wanted level system functioned as a state machine, where crimes increased the variable triggering escalating police responses, represented by stars, which could be reduced by evasion, pay and spray visits, or collecting bribes. Vehicle behaviors were programmed, defining physics properties like mass and traction, while AI-controlled traffic responded dynamically to factors like player speed and map zones. The game's key challenge was balancing open-world freedom with structured storytelling, ensuring missions guided players through a cinematic narrative while preserving emergent gameplay and side activities.
Alright, NB, quick detour before we get into legacy talk. GTA 3 was huge, no doubt, but Rockstar wasn't sitting still. They had more than one iron in the fire.
Oh yeah, while GTA 3 was cooking, the studio was building out its identity. They weren't just making games, they were making a statement. Around the release of Grand Theft Auto 3 in October 2001, Rockstar Games also launched Oni, Smuggler's Run 2, Hostile Territory, and the acclaimed Max Payne that same year. In 2002, they followed up with State of Emergency, The Italian Job, Smuggler's Run, War Zones, and the equally successful Grand Theft Auto Vice City. These projects, alongside GTA 3, reflected Rockstar's iterations on that original concept: narrative-driven, single-player games set in elaborate open-world environments, whether in a 1980s Miami or the American frontier, consistently delivering third-person action experiences. Internally, Rockstar organized its team into multiple divisions, each handling distinct aspects of development, such as game builds, AI, database systems, and level design, forming the cross-functional team structure. The studio's vision during this era centered on a 3D approach, creating full-scaled and reimagined worlds, while also expanding its focus on other consoles. Over time, this direction evolved, with Rockstar's creative community later exploring new ways to expand possibilities through projects like dedicated roleplay servers in Grand Theft Auto V and Red Dead Redemption 2.
That era was about attitude, risk-taking, and pushing consoles to the edge. You could feel it even in games that weren't GTA. GTA 3 wasn't just big. It redefined open-world games.
Grand Theft Auto 3 revolutionized open-world game design by setting a standard that has endured since its release. It transformed how designers approach games by expanding into a 3D world with nonlinear gameplay, offering a mix of narrative-driven missions, diverse side activities, and free exploration elements that still define the genre today. Other studios adopted its innovations, including seamless 3D environments, non-linear mission structures, and dynamic, reactive worlds. Rockstar, inspired by GTA 3's success, continued developing titles that emphasize detailed, immersive worlds, leading to sequels like GTA, Vice City, and San Andreas, which refined the 3D Universe era's technical lessons. The game's impact reshaped industry expectations, inspiring developers to rethink game size, scope, and design, solidifying open-world mechanics as a cornerstone of modern gaming.
NB, before we bounce, last thoughts?
Man, GTA 3 was the spark. It showed what was possible. And Rockstar, they lit the fire and kept it burning.
Word. To all you listeners, next time you steal a tank and cause chaos downtown, thank the devs who made Liberty City possible. This has been Pixel Streets and Poly Dreams, where science meets street smarts. I'm Carmine Conti. Thanks to Nick Belly for dropping the knowledge. Catch us next week. We're talking procedural generation and the rise of roguelikes. Stay wild, stay wired.